Welcome back to the channel. This week we're back on the mower build, so we're gonna get started on getting shocks and the rear swing arm finished up, so that way we can have rear suspension and see what it looks like sitting on its own tires.
Well, the whole dozer has officially died. We got through all of the trike and part of the mower with this thing, which is incredible. So now, I finally get to use the ones that RogueFab sent us.
So we got this first tube on the swing arm done that ties the two outer, or I guess inner portions of the swing arm together on each side. I left a little room in here just in case we want to run a little bit bigger sprocket on the back, we can. And that way we just won't have any sort of interference issues there. And put it on the top side, it doesn't matter because it's not affecting any ground clearance. So that's a plus. Now we're going to move on, use a couple pieces of these little scrap ends from bending this other stuff, and build another little support piece on each side, just like that. We're gonna take a minute and try to fix the old Plasma Pony plasma cutter. Yeah, so I got this thing for free from one of my buddies when we were right out of high school. He got tired of messing with it and bought another one that was much better than this one, and so he gave me this one because the pre-ignite for the torch, to where you can ignite it before you get to a piece of metal, quit working. I had messed with adjustments in there and stuff, got it to arc, and then exploded a relay shortly after. And so now I'm gonna try to take that circuit board out and replace this relay. I ordered some of these relays on eBay, I believe. So I've got 5 tries. We'll see if I can get this up. And that one might be broken, but I got 4 more tries, so we'll see if I can get a relay put in this thing and get this thing to work. So the main reason why I want this thing working is I'm getting ready to start cutting out suspension tabs, and I hate cutting out suspension tabs, and this would make it much faster. So we're going to try to fix this and see how that goes. So hopefully the cutting of the tabs goes a lot faster.
So, just in case anyone's curious, yes, this does void your warranty.
I don't know that this thing had a warranty to start with. From this side, it looks like a pretty good little relay. From this side, where it made the bang and all the smoke came out, it doesn't look so good anymore. This relay was still working somehow, but it smoked a whole bunch, so I figured it was probably time to get a new one. Well, we got the relay soldered back in there, and the circuit board all mounted and everything again, so I guess now for the moment of truth to see if this is going to work or not. I adjusted those there's a little arc contact in there that helps start the pre-ignite. I don't remember what it's actually called. I think the pre-ignite thing. So I adjusted those closer to try not to overload the relay and blow it up again, and then I will slowly adjust it this time instead of making a large adjustment like I did the last time. So hopefully we'll see if this works. Hasn't blown up yet.
Well.
Seems to work. Heck yeah. Fixed it with, well, it only took us one try, so that's a plus. So we got the old CAD work done for one of these tabs, so just throw it on the ground. We can position this tab probably something like this to get the lower where we want it, and then I'll have to build another tab for the other side as well. They're not going to be too different in length, I don't think, so I'll just try to build another one of these that's the exact same as this and see kind of how it lines up, and then we can shorten it up if we need to. Since that tube is square to the rest of the frame, we shouldn't have to have two different length ones at all. We can just kind of pivot them a little bit to make them line up where we need them to, so those are going to work just fine for the uppers. Probably end up working for the lowers as well. It'll just depend on what we end up with for a mounting point down there. We still got to build a couple tubes for that. But for those of you that remember these shocks, or those of you that don't remember, I guess, or weren't watching the channel at the time, these shocks are off of a 400 Honda 400EX four-wheeler. We had these on the front of the Odyssey for a little while, and they were definitely not good enough for the front of the Odyssey. We bottomed these things out a lot, and we blew all the bushings out of them. And so I ordered some bushings online. So they've got all new bushings in them now, and they should work pretty good for the back of this. We got our little Pac-Man ghosts cut out down here. So they didn't turn out perfect, but that is way faster to at least get the rough shape, and then I can finish them off with the grinder. So definitely gonna be a lot faster to build tabs now, which is great because I hate building tabs. Got these upper tabs done for the upper shock mounts, so now I need to build a lower tube that runs across here somewhere, and then probably another one that runs this way, and then maybe another one back here that runs across this way as well, and then that way I can build my brackets in between. I want to have this lower bracket adjustable a little bit, so that way if I need to move this around a little bit I can. So So got the old CAD work done for this here next bracket for the lower shock. So there will have probably 3 mounting points in there. That way it's kind of adjustable as far as its stiffness. The shock does have some adjustment on the preload there, but kind of minimal, as these aren't like a Fox Podium shock or something like that. These are kind of generic Honda four-wheeler shocks, so they're not the best things, but they should work good for this, hopefully. So we're going to use this template here. We're going to use this really heavy plate because I don't have anything thinner than that, and we're going to try just using 1 bracket on each side, and then we'll do a washer and a grade 8 bolt through there, and worst case we end up bending the bolt and then we have to support the other side, and we could use a thinner piece of metal on the other side because it won't have to be as strong. So we'll just try this for now and then go from there. So got these brackets made. Turned out pretty good, I think. A little bit of grinder work. Not much, but probably about 15-20 minutes worth maybe. Takes a while to grind this stuff because it's so thick, but got the 3 holes there, and then they just drop in like so. And then I'll just space them away about 1.5 inches. I'll just use this piece of 1.5 inch tubing to kind of space it out there, and then weld them on. I beveled one edge of them, that way I make sure I get a good weld in there as well. So we'll get these things welded on, throw a bolt through them, and see what the rear suspension feels like. Well, got the bottom portion of the shocks mounted up, so moment of truth, see how this thing sits. Yep, it sits. So with the shocks on there as much preload as possible, yeah, it's got a whole bunch of suspension travel. They're super stiff. So we're going to try loosening those up, and then we can always move them forward on that lower mount, and that would also make them softer because it will move them closer to the fulcrum or whatever that's called there. That should help a bunch. Slid those lowers forward and also loosened up the preload on them, and it's like you can at least move it a little bit. It's still really stiff. Next video we'll have to try to figure something out there. I have some Fox shocks off the front of a snowmobile. We may try those. They're a little bit shorter than these, or we may even try just relocating the upper mount and see if we can get it to have a little bit better travel, soften it up a little bit. That's all we've got time for this week's video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you already haven't, and stay tuned for next week's video.